get a goal, it's just the beginning. You gotta sing when you're winning, everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. You gotta sing when you're winning. Get a goal, it's just the beginning. Sing, sing when you're winning, everywhere you go.
Hello and welcome to episode 19 of the Sing When You're Winning, a Fantasy Football League oddity podcast featuring distant cousins of podcast royalty and a very special guest this week who we will reveal very shortly. But waiting in line for the podcast throne once again this week, well, it's just me and Steve. The nights are dark, it's getting cold, and we've discovered that while the panel are great in the height of summer, they can't do it on a cold, dark Thursday night in Yorkshire. Shocking. Absolutely appalling. So hopefully we'll get a few of them back next week. But I was going to say everyone to introduce themselves this week, but it's me and you, Steve, and our guest who will announce shortly. But as we're recording this, we've had 2 game weeks back to back, and there is actually live football happening. So, Steve, you're going to give us updates on one of the games, aren't you? Which game is it?
In the Soccer Saturday style, I'm currently covering. I'm at Craven Cottage.
You're at Craven Cottage. Good. Is there anything of note to tell people this Friday morning?
Fulham are winning 1-0, and Raoul, who Mark Horseman, my opponent, has got, is on the bench so far. So that's where
that's a good result. Is Harry Wilson still on the bench, or has he come on?
No, he's playing. He's starting today.
Oh, good. I mean, not that it's going to impact my crap score again this week, but we'll come on to that. But this week, we've been opening advent calendars, and there have been angry people opening Mars Celebrations advent calendars to find a bounty behind the first 3 doors. Apparently, day 1, 2, and 3 was all a bounty. So, Steve, are you a fan of a bounty? And what's your favourite advent calendar if you had to pick one?
Yes, I do like a bounty. Yeah, I don't see why it's getting a lot of bad press recently. I quite like a bounty. Well, what's the problem apart from they're a lot smaller than they used to be, as everything is.
I once got to. Someone said to me I was a psychopath because I said I loved bounties, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. To be fair, very strange.
It's wokeness. People have gone anti-bounty.
Yes, yeah. Wokeness gets to a point when people can't have a bounty in peace.
Those of us that were children in the 70s can like bounties.
Yes, maybe. But what's your favourite advent calendar, or do you not care? Do you have an advent calendar, or
I don't have one now. Normally the kids get about 4 each, so I just sort of dig into those really. But I mean, when I was a kid, you got one and you opened it, and there's a picture of a Christmas tree, and now to me the Christmas message is lost.
It is
chocolate.
It is. It's a very serious message within there. But yeah, I remember as a kid,
and a present or something like that. That was a picture. Yeah, that was what you enjoyed as a child.
You get excited. You go,
going child.
Yeah, and there'd be a picture of a candle on cardboard or something like that, and you get all excited.
And when we were in Aldi the other week, Nick said to me, "Look, there's a Swizzlers advent calendar with like a refresher in and stuff like that, and a whatever sweets you get in Swizzlers." And I was like, and she was like, "It's reduced. It's £4." I'm like, "No, it's £6." Sorry, I was like, "It's £6." They went, "Oh, like you could buy a tub of it for £3." I thought, well, I just buy a tub for £3 instead of.
Exactly, and you get more than 24 in there as well. See, you get top tips on this podcast as well of how you can save your money. But yeah, I don't get an advent calendar anymore because I used to buy 3, and because there's 3 of us in the house, and my little one would nick whatever I had, so I've just decided to buy 2 now. So she gets one less chocolate a day. Maybe I'm a bad parent, I don't know, but couldn't see the point in it, to be fair.
Maybe you should have a chocolate buttons calendar. That would be.
I quite like chocolate buttons. You'll be surprised to know.
Really, that is strange.
That's the type of button that I do like. And I like the way our guest, we're bringing on to our special guest, he's especially worn a football top with buttons on, especially for me. So that's really good tonight as well. So I'll be looking at buttons for the next 50 odd minutes or so. But let's introduce our special guest. This week's special guest is an original Sing When You're Winning member. So yes, we've got potentially the Notts County or Sheffield United of Sing When You're Winning. He might not like either of those comparisons, but more importantly than that, he's the manager of the month for November in Sing When You're Winning. So let's give a very warm SWYW welcome to Tim Ward. There's only two of us. Woo! But we'll cheer as loud as we can.
Right.
Welcome along, Tim.
And the manager of the month for October as well, October and November.
Double manager of the month, yes.
Yeah. Impressive.
Back to back. Unprecedented, probably. I don't know. Michelle Gale's probably done it.
Not this year.
And I think you've scared off Chris from the panel as well, because he was in the running for manager of the month. But yeah, because you took it. Is that a coincidence that he's cried off this cold December evening, rather?
Can't be.
Maybe. You began your FPL career in 2011, 2012. Is that correct?
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, guess so. So what's that? 12? Is that 12?
Yes, 14 this year, I think. Yeah. That's it. I mean, I'm presuming you were. I'm pretty sure you were in the first season, Tim. Just because when I threw together however many teams it was in that first season, and we were just following each other on Twitter, weren't we? So I just chucked you in as a football-loving guy, and you've been stuck with us ever since.
Still here. Still here.
And amazingly, one of the originals who's not a Leeds fan as well. Is that true? Or was I get the impression all of the originals were Leeds fans, but obviously not yourself.
Yeah. I felt at times that I was the only non-Leeds fan out of than just one non-Leeds fan. But yeah, it's entirely Leeds fans.
No, it's a lot of them,
but you know, I think when I joined the league, Stoke were above Leeds, so it was mostly okay.
Stoke City have been through a lot in the time you've been in the FPL, and by the looks of it. Your best finish was 5th in 2018, I believe, and you were relegated in 2022 to the Championship and sadly lost the playoff semi-final last season. But you're doing well in the Championship this season.
Only now it was you were in the we were bottom for the first few weeks, Tim, and then you
I think I lost 4 of the first 5 this season. I think whatever it is, 7 out of the next 8, something like that. So I've turned a corner accidentally, but I have turned a corner. You hammered me. No, actually, I had the best performance I've had in ages at the weekend, and you beat me. So there you go. I was like, oh, I've done well this week. I kept looking at your score, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to catch you. No, did you get 90 or something at the weekend? We'll come on to scores in a bit, but yeah, you did. You beat me again. Talking of that, Steve, do you want to give us a bit of an update? I appreciate it's game week 13, and we're about to end game week 14. So, do you want to give us some headlines across the 2 game weeks?
Yeah. So, if you can cast your mind back to all the way back to 3 or 4 days ago, in the Premier League, then there was a clash of our panelists actually, and a clash of Chris's, which produced the highest scoring game actually, as Chris Duhamel beat Chris Payne 86-80. So it's probably as well they're both out on here today. The actual high score in that division was from Leon, who got 99, who beat Steve Taylor, who got 50. Top of the table, Mark Summerton continued his run, but continued Michelle's misery, sadly, at the same time, beating her 76-74, which is quite frustrating.
Ooh, you'd be raging.
And Rick did a 1-pointer over Tom Bird, so he'll be happy with that one. In the league tables wise, Mark Summerton is top 36 points and 5 points clear of Neil Martin on 31. Ed Chesters has 30, and behind there, Andrew Chester still chasing with 25. At the bottom, Alistair Bruce Ball is 5th from bottom. He's got 15 points. Horace Badwan has got 12 points. And the bottom 3 is Michelle with 9 points, Adam Devlin with 9 points, and they're playing each other right now.
Oh.
And John Gregory is bottom with 9 points. Form-wise in that division, Paul Chambers-Tonner is the most form side. He's won 6 in a row. And Michelle has lost 6 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
John Gregory, who's bottom, has also lost 5 in a row. So there's some need to turn things around there. Championship, Jamie, which will interest you and Tim, of course. A high score there was Lee not even here, and he's got 95 last week. And he beat Nick, who got 57, and she was not happy. And it was a roller coaster of emotions in our house at the weekend. from I'm getting rid of the app to I'm getting the app back, and the delight on her face when Gabriel scored for Arsenal, and then I had to sort of point out that Saka had assisted and Lee had him as captain. Kind of took it away. The next two with the highest score was you two, Tim 86 and Jamie 81 were the highest scores in the division over the league.
We happened to play each other, which was great for me.
Yeah, does it make you feel any better that you got a good score, Jamie, and still lost?
Yeah.
And your early season form's deserted, hasn't it? You kind of knows.
Well, I did what I did last season. I stupidly have banked everything on Haaland and Salah, and we saw what happened last season when I stuck with them forever and got relegated. So I'm gonna have to do something. One of them, I think Haaland's going to go this weekend. I think I've had enough.
You've only just dropped in the bottom half, so you're not too bad.
Yeah.
The highest scoring match in that division, apart from yours, was Phil Pinder, who beat Alistair Griffin 83-76. And the big match at the top of that table, Henry beat Tom Gregory 59-56. Form-wise in that division, Swanee has now lost 4 games in a row. He's got the worst form. Stu, towards the top, has won 6 in a row. And Henry has won 5 in a row. And they are playing each other tonight as well.
Yeah, it's all happening.
League table wise, Henry's got 28. He's top for the first time this season. Jim has got 27. Stu in third, 27. Andrew Clancy, 27, who was going to be our guest tonight but has had to pull out. Able substitution in Tim. Tom Gregory, 25 points. And Tim, you've sneaked into the playoffs at 24 points. Which is a good turnaround from your bottom 3 earlier on in the season.
Yeah.
Down at the bottom, Lee's win gives him 14 points to move up to 5th from bottom. Alistair Griffin has got 12 points, and the bottom 3 is Nick with 12 points, Swanee with 12 points, and Jonas, who's still got 9 points at the bottom. We move into League 1. 93 for Steve Wybrandt, beat Paul Spencer, who was doing well before that. Bresnan was the next highest score in that league. He got 81 to beat Andy Cousins, who got 60. Nigel Clark ended his long losing run by beating Ben Hope 57-48. Craig Wilson, who was in the bottom relegation zone a few weeks ago, continues his rise. He beat Nathan Clark 56-42. Of those two, Nathan's now lost the most games in a row in that. He's lost 7 in a row in that league, and Craig has won 5 in a row, which has taken him to the other end of the table. League table wise, Jamie Hurst is top with 30 points. Rich Pipes has 27 points, and the playoffs are Lee Nicholson with 27 points, Paul Spencer with 23, Anton Witter with 23, Gareth Young's 21, and just outside the playoffs, Craig has now got 21 as well. At the bottom, Stu Kelly's got 16 points, just outside the relegation, which has got Frankie Francis with 15 points, and the bottom 3, little gap. Nigel Clark with 10 points, Chesney Hawks with 9 points, and Nathan Clark now bottom 9 points. Conference League, the highest score there was between 2 of the highest teams. Neil Robertson has just moved into the promotion race there. He lost 93-83 to Pete Martini. In another big game up there, Duke Witter got 89 to beat Vicky Sparks, who's now not won for 3 games, having been top before. She got 77. Grace, last week's guest, once again, she just scraped through. She beat Vicky Sparks. Oh, no, she didn't. Well, anyway, she won by 3 points. I don't know who she was playing.
It's all about winning. It's 3 points.
She also would play Vicky, but one of them was, I don't know. Anyway, Maddox, in a very close game, Maddox one-pointed Adam and was very excited. I don't know if he sent you a voice.
I didn't get the voice note, but no, you got a voice note, didn't you?
So. I did, yeah. He was very excited to have won by 1 point.
Yeah, that's the spirit. That's what we like to see, Maddox.
He demanded the phone numbers of all the panels so he could send them a celebratory message.
Well, wasn't he on? Was he on TalkSport?
He was on TalkSport this afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah, he probably got that especially to announce that he'd won. So,
yeah.
Well done, Maddox.
We'll have to have a listen back and find out.
I will.
And at the bottom, Paul Tonkinson, who having not won for ages, has now won 2 in a row, and he beat Becky Bass, who's also down at the bottom. Form-wise there, Joe Singleton's finally getting it together. He's won 4 in a row. And at the bottom, George, sadly, has now lost 7 in a row. And he might need a little rebrand because his team name is called I Won't Bottle It.
It depends what he won't be bottling, though. Do you know what I mean? If he was bottling the essence of like success, he's clearly not bottling that, is he? He's not doing very well right now.
I'm sure living with Grace probably isn't helping him at the moment when she's winning and he's losing.
Yeah, exactly.
But league table-wise, Pete Martini's top. He's got 30 points. Duke Witter's got 30 points. Vicky Sparks has got 28 points. And the playoffs are Ben Halliwell, 28 points. Grace with 28 points. A little gap to 23 points for Natalie Pike and Alfie Witter. And at the bottom, Becky Bass, 10 points. Paul Tonkinson now off the bottom, 9 points. Adam Constable, 9 points. And rock bottom of the whole league, Chris Murray, 6 points.
There we go.
Well, I'm on it. I'll go a few of our little regular stat things. The person with the most transfers is Nikolai Costa-Waldau, who's done 31 transfers, I believe. And he's the highest of the transfers of everybody. The most goals scored in the whole league is by Grace, 51 goals for her team. And the most assists are Chris Payne and Neil Robertson, who both had 33 assists each. High scores wise, Leon got 99 last week, which is a joint second highest score of the season. The highest score of the season is Michelle Gale with 104, and she's only won 3 games all season, so presumably that was one of those weeks.
Yeah,
Leon's got 99, Vicky Sparks got a 99, Ben Halliwell's got a 97, Lee Cooper surprisingly has a 95, and Natalie Pike has a 95. And the lowest, highest scores these people have got, Ben Hope got a 64. That's the highest score he's got all season. Chesney Hawke, 62. Ben Taylor, 61. And Phil Quar with 60 is the lowest high score out of everybody.
Some good stats there.
With Craven Cottage, it is now half-time, 1-0.
And over at in Bournemouth, it's 0-0 live. They haven't been playing for long, but it's 0-0. And Tony Pulis is on for BBC Radio 5 Live Extra and said Solanke should score and didn't. So there you go. This will mean nonsense to people when they listen to it Friday morning. But there you go. Football as it happened here on the podcast. So let's have a look ahead to the weekend, game week. So yeah, the football comes thick and fast. So the next game week starts on Saturday, but Everton-Liverpool is the Saturday lunchtime kickoff. What do we think, Everton-Liverpool? We'll start with you, Tim. What do you think?
I think Liverpool win that fairly comfortably, as was last night. But now, 2 days ago, if you listen to this, but I think they're still not very good. But Liverpool are. So Liverpool win that comfortably, 2 or 3.
Yeah,
no.
I would agree. I think I can only see it going one way. How about you, Steve?
Yeah, you'd think so. Where Salah seems to be scoring 2 every week at the moment, doesn't he? So against, is it at Anfield or?
No, it's at Goodison.
It might be a little cagey. 2-0 Liverpool, I reckon.
Yeah, but it will be the last, unless they draw each other in the FA Cup. It will be the last Merseyside derby at Goodison. So you don't know whether, if they do a bit of a fanfare before kickoff and stuff like that, perhaps it might get the players going. But I still think, regardless, Liverpool will win that game. I must point out as well, we're not talking about Manchester United today, but we had some feedback from Cole Jenkins that I had a lot of Man U against Man U bias. And I just thought it was hilarious that I was called out amongst all the Leeds fans that are on this podcast as the one having the most Man U bias. So I'll just say, Cole, yes, I do have a Man U bias. I'm not going to lie, but at the same time, I'll give credit where it's due, and I think Man U are doing some decent stuff at the moment. So thank you, Cole. I'll get that one in and move swiftly on. I
think they're ones to watch now. Now they've got a decent manager. It's just he's playing nearly everybody, isn't he? So it's hard to pick somebody. Ahmad had a flyer and everyone was buying him and saying he's the new man to it, and then he didn't even play this week, midweek, did he? So.
No, he's moving stuff around. But yeah, I think Man U will come good, let's be honest. We've got a decent manager. But yeah, Spurs-Chelsea, is the next game that we're going to look ahead at the weekend. That's Super Sunday on Sky. Spurs-Chelsea. What do we think?
Could be a cracker, but then Chelsea tend to beat Tottenham, don't they? I think so. Again, I was a little bit disappointed last night to find that Chelsea scored 5 and Parma got 1. But Chelsea seem to have got their act together.
Yeah. I said ages ago on here, I had Chelsea as my outsiders for the league, and that becomes. I still think that could be on. To be honest, I know Maresca was saying that wasn't. He said Chelsea aren't good enough for the title yet, but I don't know. I think.
But Swanee said he's a very miserable man, isn't he? So he's
he is miserable. Yeah, when he's not getting stuck in like Wallen and stuff like that. Exactly. But I still fancy Chelsea as an outsider for the league. But yeah, Tim, what do you think about that game, Spurs-Chelsea?
I think there's a chance it might be pure chaos, but I think Chelsea will probably win, but maybe something a bit weird, like a 4-3 or 5-2 or something weird, or Spurs. But I think Chelsea will win.
Yeah.
I think it was that game last year that was mad, wasn't it? That was a mad game last year, wasn't it? Spurs-Chelsea. It was like one of our first WhatsApp groupie games, and Udogie scored 2 or something, and it was a bit of a mad game.
Yeah,
somebody got sent off. Van der Ven gets sent off or something.
Yeah, I remember it was a bit of a crazy one. But yeah, so we'll see how that one goes on Sunday. And then Monday Night Football, it's not going to be a classic, but it's interesting because it's 2 teams who aren't playing particularly well. West Ham against Wolves. And we don't normally pick these. So what do we think, West Ham or Wolves?
El Sakico, I think they're calling it out there.
Yeah, something like that. But I have a feeling Gary O'Neill's probably more in trouble if Wolves were to lose that one. But I think West Ham would win that Monday night at home. I think West Ham.
I don't know. I think whoever loses is going.
Yeah.
I think looking at West Ham the other day, every time West Ham let a goal in the other day, their manager looked like he was thinking that's me done now. You absolutely screwed me over. But now they've announced today that Thursday that they're definitely not sacking him before the weekend. He's definitely going to be manager against Wolves apparently. And then what do we call him? O'Neill is coming out saying whatever's best for the club, they need to do whatever to keep Wolves being in the Premier League's more important than whether I'm in charge or not. I don't know, is he trying to win the fans over there or something? Poor old me. I
don't know. But yeah, I mean, you could argue neither of them will be in charge at the end of the season, possibly.
Oh, I think by end of by New Year, possibly they're both gone. I thought.
Yeah, they can. They don't have to worry about getting up early Boxing Day to go and manage the fixture.
Goal! There's a goal, Jamie. There's a goal.
Whoa, goal! Come on, then. Who has scored?
Bournemouth have just taken the lead against Tottenham.
Oh, good stuff. And who scored that goal? Do we know?
I don't know. The name flashed up, but it's nobody I recognise. I don't think anybody will have him in their team.
So nobody has scored a goal against Tottenham here. So it's Bournemouth 1, Tottenham 0, goal scorer nobody, and I'm guessing the assist is nobody at this moment in time as well. So
I can't see that. And the players are coming out at Craven Cottage as well.
Great stuff. That's
Raoul's not coming out yet.
Raoul's not come out yet.
No. Good.
Yeah. So yeah, this is better than you get on Sky, people. I mean, Soccer Saturday has gone to shit. Let's be honest. This is way better. This is way better. Live football as it happened. Remember, on the podcast this week. So let us move swiftly on. Let's have a bit more of a chat with you, Tim. So as I ask everybody about their football team, why do you support Stoke?
So I born and raised in Stoke-on-Trent. So grew up a couple of miles away from the ground. My dad was a Stoke fan. Just local team. Even though they were terrible, the year I was born, they were relegated from the top flight, which with what was the lowest points total in history, which has been overtaken a couple of times since then. But that was like Stoke City life of the year I was born. We were the worst team in the top flight of all time. So, yeah, so that's it really. And then stuck with us through thick and thin, as everyone should.
Yeah. You've had some good periods though in the last kind of 15 years or so, haven't you? You've had some good things to shout about as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like we got promoted to the in 2007-8 season. So that's the first time I ever saw us in the top flight, and we were there for 10 years. Tony and the Rory Delap years under Mark Hughes, and then ended up going into Europe, obviously under Pulis, FA Cup final. So yeah, some real highs, and then went very quickly, drastically wrong. Sort of 6 years of languishing in the lower half of the Championship.
Well, it's a tale that lots of clubs, I would say, most of the Championship have probably done that, like kind of gone up, flirted with the Premier League. There are lots of good stuff, got lots of good things about Stoke City. But yeah, what are your highs and lows of supporting them?
I think, I was racking my brains thinking the FA Cup semi-final against Bolton in 2011. So watching this at Wembley, Bolton were the favourites by a mile in that game. It was of the press, and we tore them apart 3-0 at half time, won 5-0 to get to the first ever FA Cup final. So yeah, that was definitely the high. There has been several highs. Like getting promoted to the Premier League is amazing, but yeah, the FA Cup semi-final, something else. And then lows, there's probably more lows to choose from, but getting relegated to in our first season in the new stadium, as it was then. So moving into a brand new stadium, Britannia Stadium, we got through 3 managers in one season, one of which was Chris Kamara, and we got relegated. So yeah, probably that entire season, 97-98, is probably the low point.
I don't remember. I obviously followed football a lot of the time, but I don't recall you having that bad a season, to be fair. But you obviously did. But no, I remember when the Britannia was built. It was like Britannia, Riverside. They were kind of like Pride Park. They were just 10 a penny, weren't they? Those kind of stadiums were just getting built left, right, and centre.
Yeah, and they all look the same as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I know when they tried to play a different style of football, didn't they? They were quite under Pulis. They were direct, and everyone knew what they were going to get, and people didn't like going there. And then they just decided to get rid of Pulis. Did they bring Mark Hughes in then? And then decided we're doing this. We're going to change the way we play football. And then it just went downhill straight away.
Yeah, well, I mean, to find it did work. Pulis left, and it's probably the right time for him to leave. And then we brought in Hughes, and to be fair, he built a brilliant squad with people like Bojan, Arnautovic, Shaqiri, and we played some of the best football I've ever seen. In fact, finished 9th 3 years in a row in the Premier League. And then the season after that, the signs were already there that something just wasn't right. We signed people that weren't right for the club, like Hesse, Choupo-Moting, and the squad just felt really weird. And then the following season, the writing was on the wall, and yeah, the board reacted too late. They brought in Paul Lambert, which I think was a little too late, and down we went. So initially under Hughes, it was really good for about 3 seasons, and then.
So as we always do, we ask each panel member to do some homework, Tim, and have a question prepared for you. As there's just me and Steve tonight, you won't be inundated with loads of questions. But the first question I have for you this week, just roll with it. What's the best thing about working in theatre?
The parties, the drugs, the affiliation, the booze, the affairs. Yeah, all of that.
Sounds wild. Brilliant. Thank you. And what's all this about you stepping into Christmas?
Step into Christmas on December the 1st, and stepped into Christmas fully until January.
So you're a huge Christmas fan by the looks of things. Is this a genuine thing?
I legitimately, I love Christmas. Love this. Yeah, I love it. I really do. And Step Into Christmas is my favorite Christmas song. I think I've listened to it every day so far since the 1st. So that'll keep going.
Good stuff. Any other Christmas songs get in there that you quite like, or obviously Elton's your top choice? But do you like some Christmas crackers, like the classics in particular, or is any Christmas song will do?
A lot. I mean, that's number one for me. But then got a great soft spot for Last Christmas. I like Thank God It's Christmas by Queen, which not many people seem to recall. Well, Slade, Wizard. Yeah, they'll be on rotation over the next sort of 21 days or so.
Well, good stuff. And final question on Christmas: what's your favorite Christmas film then? What's your Christmas film of choice?
It feels a bit try-hard to say Die Hard, but it's probably Muppets Christmas Carol.
Okay. See, I'm in the minority. I think it's all right. I don't dislike it, but it's not. It's not as good as I think people make out. But again, I'm probably in trouble for saying that. But Die Hard for me, I had this conversation at work again the other day. It's the classic. I worked with someone who said Die Hard is not a Christmas film, and of course, we all know it is.
It is.
So yeah, it's one of the greatest Christmas movies of all time.
100%. Of course, it is. We watched Die Hard 2 this week, which is also set to Christmas, but it's nowhere near as Christmassy as Die Hard, the first one. So Die Hard 2 is not a Christmas film, despite being set at Christmas.
But Die Hard 1, well and truly, is a brilliant Christmas film. And look forward to watching that. So, Steve, what question do you have for Tim? Or do you have questions for Tim, given that there's only a few of us?
Well, seeing as you've just asked loads of questions, I mean, it's not so much need for me to do it. So I'm going to, what can I ask? Elf, actually, is my favourite Christmas film.
Yes, Elf is definitely up there. Yeah, it's a phenomenal film, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant. And of course, Will Ferrell's now a Leeds investor as well. So
all the more reason for you to love it.
Buddy the Elf is on the Leeds board.
Exactly. I bet that's something you never thought you would say 20 years ago.
Oh, we've got a goal at Craven Cossie, Jamie.
Oh, you're watching it live, aren't you? Can you describe the goal for us?
Equaliser for Brighton. And the goal scorer is Aliba.
Do you want to describe the goal, how it went in? Give it a bit of a...
He kicked the football and it went past the goalkeeper and into the net.
Brilliant.
It's a good drive across the area, left foot drive, and I believe it might be a João Pedro assist. Yes, it is. I can confirm that. That's good for my team.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday indeed. And remember, people, this is football as it happened here on the podcast.
Live and exclusive.
It is live and exclusive this Friday morning for you all. But yes, what was your question, Steve?
My question would be, as a long-standing member then, Tim, who's been in since the start when there was only one division and probably about 14 of us, do you prefer, now that we've got 4 divisions with 84 teams in and promotions and relegations, or the old format when we had a closed little Super League with no relegation?
Well, given I was relegated 2 years ago, I think we should get rid of relegations. No, not really. I do think it's really good having a bit of jeopardy. But I am going to probably be languishing in the Championship for quite a while.
Yeah, not too long though. And now you're having a good season. It might be. Jamie keeps telling everyone
That's what I said when Stoke.
The Championship is the place to be. Jamie keeps saying
it is just like in real life. Why would you want to get promoted and get beat every week? that's the thing. I can stay in the Championship and get beat every week at the moment.
Jamie's already tasted at top of the table, and now he's heading to have a try at the bottom now. So.
Yeah, I'm just trying to emphasise. But Haaland is definitely going. I'm telling you, I've said it for a couple of weeks, but I've had my fill with him now. He's going.
This is the news everybody wanted to hear, because that means he's going to get a hat trick at the weekend.
Exactly, and everyone can laugh at me, both on WhatsApp and on the pod next week when that happens. So, any more questions, Steve, or shall we move on to the quiz?
Let's move on to the quiz. That's my favourite.
Yes,
this will be interesting.
Sing when you win, when you're winning, superfan. So, as you know, Tim, as a regular listener to the podcast, unlike lots of guests, you do tune in, which is great. Thank you. Each week, we're going to test our guests' footballing knowledge, see how many questions they can get correct in 90 seconds. And last week, Grace joined the top of the tree with 6 points alongside Joe and Ali. So do you think that you can hit 6 this week? How do you think you'll get on?
I was fair the internet connection. So we'll see. I'll take 3 at this stage. I think I'll only hear 3 questions in 90 seconds.
Yes, for everyone's benefit, depending on how good of an editing job I do, because I've got to turn this one around fast between tonight and tomorrow morning. Yeah, there's a slight delay for Tim, so we'll have to bear that in mind with the 90 seconds.
And I did say Joe would find last week's bit controversial, and his comments were, "How easy was that quiz?"
I mean, everyone gets easy questions. Every single person's had easy questions. You can't deny that. But yeah, I mean, I think, to be fair, at the end, Grace could have got the 7. I think there'd be more controversy if she'd done that. But yeah, so given that there's just the 2 of us, so Steve, if you do the timing, and I'll try and keep score as we go through, which could be fun.
I'll do it as well, so we're doubled up on a score and we can confer.
That's good. That's good. Right. Okay. Are you ready then, Tim? Yep. Cool. So 90 seconds will start when I ask the first question, and Steve will shout something out after 90 seconds. You'll think of something topical. And if we have a goal at Craven Cottage in the 90 seconds, then we might have to go live to that and pause the quiz. So we shall see. It's all exciting, people. It's all exciting. So question number 1. Which country was the first to host the UEFA Champions League final 3 times? It was Italy. Who scored the winning goal for Germany in the 1990 World Cup final against Argentina? It was Bremer. Which player has the most appearances in the history of the Champions League?
Casillas?
It's Cristiano Ronaldo, believe it or not. Next question. Which country was the first to win the World Cup and the European Championships in consecutive tournaments?
France.
It was Spain, apparently. I thought it was France. What's the longest unbeaten streak in the Premier League? Arsenal, 49 games. Which player holds the record for the... Which player holds the record for the most goals scored in a calendar year?
Messi.
Yes. Which player holds the record for the most appearances in the Premier League?
James Milner.
Gareth Barry. Was that 90 seconds?
Yeah.
I'll ask the final question because there was a lot of delays there, to be fair. I think I definitely could tell there was a good 10 seconds delay. Which country won the first FIFA World Cup in 1930?
Uruguay.
Yes. So you got 2, but to be fair, because of the connection, I think I definitely think there was a lot of time lost there. But you got 2 points, so that puts you joint bottom with everyone else. Are you happy enough with that?
No, that's abysmal.
I mean, there was some tough questions
because it was looking like none for a long time there, wasn't it?
I was willing you on there, and I didn't. And yeah, the questions come up as they come up thanks to ChatGPT. But there were some tricky ones in there, but I don't know how much.
I should have got Arsenal. I should have got Arsenal's undefeated run. Like that's.
Yeah.
But
Ronaldo, maybe you should have got Ronaldo. I think.
Terrible.
It's not terrible. You sit alongside. You're in a brilliant gang with Tim Bresnan and Nigel Clark from Dodgy. So that's a pretty cool gang to be in, I would say.
That's all right. Yeah, I'll take that. That's
Tim's
like
no,
a decent
no.
pair.
But anyway, so yeah, you got 2 points. Well done. At one point, I thought you were going to get 1, and you wouldn't have been happy with that. But thank you for bearing with the tech issues there, because yeah, there was definitely a delay in asking the questions.
But you get your name announced every week for being a loser. You have to announce that Grace is a winner now, don't you? Because she said she needed.
I did. I announced that earlier on, yeah. But yeah, I've chosen not to announce the ones at the bottom every week because I thought it was a bit unfair. Just to say.
With Joan Grace. Is it just Joan Grace now at top?
And Joe Grace and Ali at top. There's all 3 of them. Yeah. So let's have an update on Bletchley Scott. How do you think they got on last week, Bletchley Scott?
Who were they playing?
They were playing MK Wanderers, who beat them on the opening day.
Oh, well, I think that was quite heavy, wasn't it? So I'm going to go 6-1.
Well, the lads will be pleased to know that it was postponed, so they had the week off, which is a result in itself. Sorry, lads. But yeah,
well done.
Yeah, exactly. They were probably well chuffed with that. But they've only got 2 more games till Christmas, and then they have a ridiculous winter break for about 6 weeks. So this week, if they do play, because the weather's horrendous at the moment, they're away at Stukely, whoever they are, on Saturday. So we'll say, come on, Bletchley, and hopefully they'll get a game this week, and we'll find out how they're doing. So yes, come on, Bletchley. And remember, you can follow at Bletchley Scott FC on Instagram for more updates.
And do the shirts have nice thermal quality, Jamie?
They do. I'm red hot in here tonight. We're feeling quite warm. So yeah, it's a
short sleeve as well.
It is, yeah. And even then, I'm red hot. So remember, you can get your terrace attire on the website.
Amazing.
It is amazing. You can get a nice Bletchley Scott sweatshirt, which is really good.
I believe they also sell mugs, Jamie.
I've heard they do as well. Yeah, and you can also. Did you know you can get them personalised?
Really? Yes.
Excellent. Actually, I should stop being nice to Carl because he's currently murdering me in this week's fantasy football league. So,
in fact, I imagine they have a large range of stocking-filling items.
I think yes. It's if you're looking for the football fan in your life, then I think there's nothing better than going on the terrace. Is it terrace.com?
Yeah, I believe so. I think you'll find it.
You will find it. So there you go.
That's the terrace. You say
the terrace.com. And also big shout out when Carl was on, the terrace obviously make the kit for Morecambe, and he's very, very excited, isn't he, about the FA Cup draw?
Yes. And if they can get us all tickets, that would be wonderful.
Yes. So remember, Carl, just how much we love the terrace when you're thinking about ticket allocation for that football match. Remember that. Let's move swiftly on, as I like to say. So the final part of this week's podcast, as we do every week, is we have a bit of a game of shooting stars. Did you listen to Tim's the week that we talked about Steve Sutton?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
You missed it. That was the best one. So yeah, listen back. I can't remember which episode it was now, but Steve Sutton, what he does if he could be invisible. That's all I'm going to say. And you can while away the hours trying to find that one on YouTube. But yeah, so we do Shooting Stars. Did you used to read Match Magazine, Shoot Magazine as a kid?
Yeah, I used to read both of those.
Yeah, they are absolute classics. And did you like the player profiles in those magazines? Was that something you'd look out for?
Yeah, give it a read, wouldn't you? It's always an insight into the mind of a footballer.
Exactly, and the journalists at the time knew what us kids wanted to know about our favourite footballers. So yeah, I'm going to ask you those same questions and see what your responses would be. So I say quick fire, but with the delay, there could be a bit of a gap, so we'll roll with it. But what subject did you hate most at school and why?
French, because my teacher was horrible.
Do you want to name your teacher who was horrible, or are we not doing that on a podcast?
I can't remember her name because
she was that horrible. She didn't deserve a name. She doesn't deserve.
Yeah, I've blocked her out. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, she's got the same name as the goal scorer at Craven Cottage this afternoon. Nobody this evening. So, what is your claim to fame outside football, Tim?
I interviewed Louis Theroux once. There you go.
Really?
Did you? Oh, intrigued now.
Does he like football? Is he a football fan?
Does he like football? Yeah.
Can we get him in the league?
I'm not sure, actually. I can't recall ever hearing.
Maybe that's one homework. Find out if Louis Theroux likes football. Who would you most like to meet?
I would like to meet. Brett the Hitman Hart, the early 10. So 10-year-old me would be over the moon if I picked him.
Good stuff. No, I remember him well. What, if anything, frightens you?
Seaweed. I've got a phobia of seaweed.
Yeah, any reason?
I got caught around my leg when I was about 6, and it meant I couldn't actually pull myself away from the water, and it's now. That's cheery.
Yeah, no, it's cheery. It's cheery. We'll go more cheery then. If you could be a fly on the wall, where would you most like to be?
I would like to Donald Trump's first cabinet meeting, just so as I get a head start on whatever he's going to do.
If you were competing in Mastermind, what would your specialist subject be?
It would be the Rick Mail.
Oh, good stuff. And I bet you'll love the Christmas special at bottom as well.
Absolutely, 100%.
And last question, what would you do if you could be invisible for a day?
This is the Steve Sutton question.
This answer it honestly. Are you as honest as Steve Sutton?
Well, I mean, I'm scared to think what he said now, but I think I'd like to New Zealand, and then I can go over there, have a nice holiday. I don't know how I'd get back, but maybe that's the point. But yeah, I'd just get to New Zealand for free. Admittedly, probably stood up for 26.
Well, if you're invisible, you might be able to lie down or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. Have you been? Are you a fan of New Zealand? Have you been before?
Yeah, I went a few years ago for my honeymoon, and so yeah, if invisibility can get me back there, that'd be my first choice.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, thank you so much, Tim, for joining us this week, and thanks for bearing with us with the tech issues as well. It sounded at times like the connection is you have been in New Zealand, and we've had that classic kind of pause. But before we break things up, what are the current football scores for everyone this Friday morning, Steve? I'm sure people are dying to know.
I believe half time, Bournemouth 1, Tottenham 0, and Fulham 1, Brighton 1.
There you go. History this Friday morning, football as it happened on the podcast. But yes, thank you so much for joining us, Tim, and good luck with the season. Remember, you can follow us on at SWYW_FPL. If you're watching this on YouTube, why not leave us a comment or ask an FPL question? And also, we're available all over the shop on social media now. We're on TikTok and pretty much everywhere. And thanks once again to Steve. Hopefully, we'll have more of the gang back next week.
We'll have a clear out. We'll have a January clear out of the panel because they're on.
Yeah, we could have a January. Yeah, we could have a January sale transfer window. So if you're on the WhatsApp group and you want to be on the panel, get in touch. Let us know.
We'll conduct interviews.
Yes, we could do that between that period between Christmas and New Year when people watch football and nothing else, and watch a bit of darts as well. We'll do some interviews. So send your applications in to myself and Steve, and we'll sort it out. But enjoy your footballing week, everybody. Keep on singing and keep on winning. Goodbye.
Bye.